Hello again, it is time for Vodacom's Sisonke Diski Chats. Yet again, my name is TT. Tabiso Tima, good to have you with us again. Well, we are into the home stretch of the 2022-2023 season. This is really the business end. This is where the season is either made or broken, or it's either the combination of the work that you've done over a season and that what you haven't done up to now. It may be too late to save your season. Joining me for this chat this time around, two legends of the game, both played, of course, for the Buccaneers and Amakosi. Let me introduce my man closest in order of age, I suppose. Age before beauty. Let's go with that. Benson, Mhlongo, former Orlando Pirates captain. And next to him, of course, we got Willard Katsande, who also wore the captain's armband for Amakosi. Down to business, gentlemen. Let's talk about your two clubs here and reflect on what is left for them this season. We are into literally the last third of the season now. If you look at the way the table looks, it looks as if it's the best they can hope for. Both Chiefs and Pirates is second place. I mean, I think if we're being realistic, that's what we can say. How do you motivate yourself? I mean, as a Chiefs and a Pirates player, you know, you don't live to play for second. Second best is just not good enough. But when you look at another season where you have to think, okay, this one is gone, so it's the number 2 foot.
For me, it's either this is your last season, then it's a different ball game, maybe disappointed. But if you still have years, this could be a season to prepare for the next season. If you can remember when I joined Pirates in 2008, we were number 2. Then the next season we took trebles the following year. Because we don't prepare for only one season. You prepare for your whole career. So as many trophies that you can collect, only you can judge it after your career is finished. So if your career still have, Jabolo is still young, you still have more trophies to go for. There's a net bank on the line. So there's a lot to play for. Yes, it's gone, but it cannot be gone. There's CAF, Champions League, that you must play for. There is pride and there's preparation. Now is a good time to prepare yourself by winning more games so that when you start the season, you are ready. I wish they can keep the squad because they like to change. That's another issue.
Indeed, it is another issue. But to the point that Benson is making there, that it's what you do now, how you finish the season will have a huge bearing on how you start the next one. As he says, there's still a CAF Champions League position to play for. Chiefs have tasted what it's like to play Champions League proper now, having been all the way to the final. Something that you missed out on.
Yeah. You know, like I was hurt when we get to a final and lose a final, and you look at your age, you're getting closer to the end. So you thought, if I can close with this medal, you know. So those are the things I told the younger ones which are in the squad now. They are more like senior players or a seasoned campaigner, what they call it. Like Benson says, you need to prepare yourself. You cannot only prepare during the next season. It's only now how you finish. He gave his reference in 2008. They end up winning. As also, we had a rough season when I joined Chiefs first season, but we end up finishing the last 4-5 games with wins and prepared us to win the league next season. So it's about how you're gonna finish the season on a high, and also, like he said, there is pride whereby you need to finish at a respectable position. But for me, the CAF position is very key, especially for these two giants. They deserve that because of the rich history. They deserve to compete in Africa. They are battling for the second position because the season is almost completed with Sundowns, who are running with the stick. But if they finish 2 and 3, some goes to Champions League, some goes to Confed, and there's Netbank. So there's a lot to play for. Yes, it's not nice for a Chiefs Pirates caliber to fight for second, but at the same time, there's something into it whereby you take how you finish the season to next season, because next season you'll be preparing for CAF as well.
I want to talk a little bit about how much of a boost it is to get a win in the derby. You talk about pride and you talk about it, and there's always pride on the line. Doesn't matter what Chiefs and Pirates are playing for when they play against each other. That win, how much does it do in terms of lifting the spirit in the camp? And that defeat, maybe let me ask you, from a Pirates point of view, coming out of a defeat in the derby, what does that do to the spirit when you get to training again on Monday?
Hey, you go through a lot. A lose in a derby, first your life change, normal life. People won't talk to you anymore.
You didn't get those phone calls anymore?
Nah, they won't talk to you. Go to the garage, you must pour petrol for yourself. Life does change. So it's how you come back. Are you going to be strong to deal with that depression? That's the saddest part about losing a derby. Will they have the strength to deal with the depression? To come back, it needs the whole team and the management. They need to spend time together now. Because outside of the stadium, I'm sorry, there's no life anymore for them. So it's up to the squad and the management to hold each other and carry on with the remaining games. But it's going to be tough, unfortunately.
Yeah. On the flip side, you come out of a derby, especially a derby for Chiefs, coming out of a run of bad results, and then you come up to the derby, where nobody was even giving you a chance to say, even though they always say there's no form in the league. What does it do then when to lift the spirit in the camp and maybe just give you that push for what's remaining of the season?
Obviously, I said it even after Chiefs lost against Golden Arrows. I said people bound to judge the derby already because of the result of the previous game. Derbies, the big man knows, has nothing to do with the previous game. It's about the pride. It's about how you want it more. Because I still remember we were doing well as Chiefs, and Chiefs were hitting a portal, and we go to a derby. They dominate possession, they dominate the scoreline. Then you ask yourself, but why? You understand? Then it teaches you, like, what derby is not just a game. It's more than a game. Derby is life, whereby there's a lot. It's not only South Africa people are watching derby. A lot of people, even if you go beyond borders, they will remember you with how you play the derby. You understand? So I knew exactly the derby is going to be a both different game. And Chiefs came to the party and they got the maximum points, and Pirates, they didn't, because actually Pirates players, they know exactly, those who play derby consistently, they know that here is going to be a tough game. But for Chiefs winning this one, it also redeemed them, because remember, they're coming from ups and downs of results, and winning a derby is going to actually set you for the next 2-3 games doing well. So it's going to be a continuity, especially this critical time of the season. You need that confidence going forward, especially if the club has an objective to finish at a better position. I think it's a good boost for the guys. They don't need to be reminded. They just need to continue from where they left off in the previous game.
So you've already mentioned that there's not just the CAF positions to play for, but there is a cup to also play for. Jose Rivero, in a lot of ways, I think he has already got one trophy in the bag, that he can at least, he's got something to show for the season. So the Nedbank Cup is another big opportunity, because that's also another way into CAF, by the way.
Having one cup for Pirates is nothing. You've done nothing. Remember, Pirates is for the league. That's the first cup that you must win. The rest you add on making history. You must surpass the treble. Whoever coach wants to succeed must surpass the treble. Unfortunately, must win all the trophies. Yes, let him go for CAF. They deserve to be in CAF. But I'm worried they keep on changing the squad. So I want to warn them. It's time for them to relax and build a squad. Let these boys stay together for a 3 seasons at least. Only then you can catch Sundowns.
That consistency in the squad, it takes time to build a winning squad. So Chiefs have the opposite problem, Willard, if we look at what's been happening in terms of no trophy now. We're talking 8 years and counting without a trophy. It is something that is completely unheard of for Kaizer Chiefs fans. This is not something that they are used to go this long without a trophy. How much pressure now is there for Arthur Zwane and the squad to deliver this Nedbank Cup?
Yeah, obviously, when you play for Soweto Giants, they need the league. That's where the pride is, like Ben said. At the moment, the team needs to go, because Nedbank, I call it a money game, whereby you just need to put 11 players and go and get the result and go to the next one. It's not about more like a tactical game whereby sometimes comes right, comes bad, but at the end of the day, it's more like a smash and grab until you get to the final, and you just need to win the trophy. At least you redeem the spirit of the fans. But also, like I said, like Ben said, it's a matter of consistency. Like now you look at Chiefs, they've got a young squad. You just need a little bit of addition here and there. Unlike to abandon them at the end of the season, you take 10, 20 players and bring new 20 again. You understand? They need to fight and understand the culture of the club. Because the thing is, like, the players come in, they don't understand how the big team's dynamics. So you need a good core in the team, within the team, who knows how to direct them. Because some of them, they're just coming and being excited to be there, like, wow, I'm playing for a big team. But if you have those who have been tried and tested, they'll bring them on board. Like, okay, here we don't do this. Here we don't play for likes on Instagram. Here we don't do this. Here we play for, one game is not enough. One trophy is not enough for big team. Like he said, winning one trophy, you can't be satisfied in a big team. So you need the core. So how do we do that? The current players we have, maybe if it's the addition, you can add 2, 3 into boosting the squad you have. Because look at Liverpool when Klopp took over. Klopp needed, I think, 4 transfer windows for him to be a dominant force. He never come and change 20 players, but he was adding 1 or 2. So also the fans of Chiefs and everybody who loves the team, at the moment, this is your coach. Give him the support. Give him everything. Look, Guardiola was given an opportunity to come from Barca B, and he made it. You understand? Look at Ten Hag. He was also down there. He's doing good at Manchester United. So this is your coach. Give him the support. Even if he drew, even if he lost, remember, Arteta was on the 14th of the table last season. So at some point, look at what he's doing now. So it's about how we support what we have. Not like, let's bring this one. No, this thing is not going to help. That's the biggest problem with us in the society. Like Chiefs Pirates, the supporters, they are not patient like Sundowns.
Want results now.
They want results now. If you don't give the results, they let you go. But it's not enough. If you say the coach has given 3 years, let him build around those 36 months. Then you judge him like, you know what, coach, we are not going anyway. But if you do that, remember, he's a young coach. You're pressing panicking buttons. But if he knows that people are supporting me, he's bound to experiment and get everything right. The minute you get the chemistry right, the trophies will come. So they just need to support.
What's the thinking? What's the mentality of the players at the moment? Or where should the mentality be? I mean, are they thinking now like, hey, Sundowns is gone? Or what should be the correct mentality for the players as well? Because they also carry a big responsibility. As much as the fans look to the coach, when the things go wrong, when the team wins, you praise the players, and when they loses, you blame the coach.
Things have changed. From us and Mr. Katsande, things has changed. When we came in, there were big shoes to fill. We didn't just came in and play. There were big shoes to fill. So while we are training with this legend, there's a lot you learn training with him. When he departs, then you take over. There's how Andy the child was introduced. He learned from me. When I departed, he took over. Opa did the same. But now these boys are on their own, where they must learn. That's where we start. Administration got it wrong. By wanting young squad, thinking that they'll have energy, they'll be quick, you forgot you cannot buy experience. By letting experience go haphazardly, without a successful plan, that's where now these 2 big teams find themselves. The only thing you have to do, they have to rebuild. Now you have to give these young boys time to adjust of the dynamics, the pressure playing home games. That's why away they do well than home. There's a lot of pressure playing at home. Fame. Yeah, you become famous, immediately you sign. They must still deal with fame. There's no one in the team right now to guide them. To let Happy go, for me, it was too early. Let him go when there's someone to take over. Now he's gone, who's the captain? It shows. Unfortunately, it's the truth. It shows. So they have to let these boys grow or go and get experienced players to add. When Pirates didn't win a trophy for 7 years, people must understand, for 7 years, they brought in Terminator, his experience. Played for his experience. Moni Joseph, winning mentality, his experience. It's me, I was experienced from Sundowns. They didn't just bring young players. We were very experienced. Mbuyane experience. Mashiko experience, and then you compare that signing with this signing, you can't. So they brought in people that were playing the national team to take Pirates ahead. Who were we competing against? We were competing against national team players. Katsande is playing for national team. Shaba's national team. That's why the derby was that way. We were playing for national teams at the current era. These ones are still young. Let them grow, unfortunately.
Give him a chance, give him a chance. They've got a chance, I mean, as you said, Willard, what you were saying there about winning the Nedbank Cup, that, you know, you just have to put together, it doesn't even matter how you win it. Penalties, 1-0, it doesn't matter. Then you've got yourself a trophy. You know, if you look at the Chiefs and Pirates in the next round of the tournament, they've got teams from the first division. What does that do in terms of the mentality of players? I mean, especially as Chiefs players, I'm sure you will know from your time as well, you've had problems with these teams from the lower division. You've lost a fighter against a first division side. So how tricky are those games?
I don't want to lie, Bratit. Those games are painful to play. Because remember, you're playing with you are role models to the teams you're playing, the players you're playing with. They see you on TV, they want to be like you, they want to take your contract. So they have nothing to lose. You know, when you have nothing to lose, you are dangerous. You can bring any surprise. So playing these games, it needs focus. When these teams are preparing to play these two big teams, the Soweto Giants, they're bringing their best because they can see that Soweto Giants, they can sign if you do well. So I'm scared. At the same time, it's interesting also for the youngsters. If you look at it on the other side of the youngsters who want to pursue their careers to play this kind of games. But for me, I don't judge them with how they're going to play a good football. I'm going to just say, let them proceed going to the next round because these games are difficult. Even to motivate players, they are difficult.
So, I mean, similarly for Orlando Pirates, they know they've had the experience of losing to lower league teams. What are the sort of things that the coach needs to say to show the players the importance of maintaining focus against and the danger of playing against a man with nothing to lose?
They are exciting young players, as Mr. Katsande said, and there are those who are experienced that they are playing for pride. You give it to those who are experienced to start the game and finish up with excitement. But if you're going to start with excitement, remember, pound to pound, they are more or less same standard of strength and everything. They come from that lower league. Unfortunately, we were afraid to talk the truth. They are still young. They can be angry. They are young. So give the experienced one to finish up this game. That's what you need.
Yeah. So it's experience that will count at the end of the day. You know, one of the motivations, as we've been talking about, in terms of one of the things that the teams can still play for, the two teams can still play for, is competing on the continent. Willard, you are an international. You've played for your country. Talk about the importance of playing these club matches, as far as giving you that experience, even for national, to be able to represent the country.
Yeah, obviously, no, those are the games you dream of when you start playing football. Like, I need to compete with the best in the continent. So those games, they are good, especially when you come in here in the local league, there are some turbulence whereby internationals, they know, because they know how to play up there. Those are also the advantages Sundowns are getting, season in, season out. They know that one way or the other, you might feel like we are on the same level, but they just wait for that one moment. The game is done. So, because when you're international, your level of thinking is elite. You are way ahead than the academy players and I call them like the local heroes, whereby they just play in DSTV pretty much. So if I were a player, youngster now, I would just say, let me just put my team in Africa so that you get that experience. I'm sure the ones we had at Chiefs now, they know the importance of being in Africa. So I think African football is also good, especially these two teams, if they want to compete with Sundowns very soon, they need to be there in Africa to get much experience so that they can bring it in DSTV, and it's also going to improve our national team.
You know, it took some time for our players, I think, especially Chiefs and Pirates players who I think domestic success was enough for the longest time. But I think it wasn't until Sundowns started to consistently perform in the league that our players started to realize the importance. The Chiefs and Pirates players, and actually the rest of the country, started to realize the importance of performing on the continent.
I differ. For them to win it 95, we look at they were playing against pre-season, they were playing against TV Mazembe, against African teams, pre-season. By that time, Chiefs and Pirates were dominant when they were playing pre-season against those African countries or bringing teams from England. That week, on its own, gives you experience enough to understand how the game is played. So now when you train differently, very differently. Because now you understand what's happening locally is nothing. They are more quicker, smarter players than what you are facing. So what happened with Sundowns? When we joined Sundowns, we went to Korea to play against Boca Junior, Tottenham, and the Korean team. So we've learned how Roy Keane, how quick and leader he is, how he used to be in between me and Robin Johannes. So when we came back, we work on our sharpness. So we are no more competing with local players. We are competing with international players. That gives you an edge. They stop that. Sundowns are still doing it. That experience, you can't buy it. You have to face them face to face for you to get that experience. They must go back and prepare properly.
Right, as we conclude, obviously trophies, what your players are judged by, what coaches are judged by. But when Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates sit later on at the end of this season and look back at the year, how should they gauge the performance of the club this season? What should they be taking a look at in terms of deciding whether this was a good year or a bad year, notwithstanding the fact that they might not be trophies?
Unfortunately, with those two teams, it's about trophies. You can't just say we can't just say we had a good season. You were playing a tiki-taka football without something to show on the fans. Especially, the drought has been long, so they have to win a trophy, secure a African football. You can hide behind it, because now the season is as good as wrapped up, but both teams, they have a trophy to play for and also Champions League sport. So there's no other way, especially based on my experience. It's not going to be counted as anything you're going to pick it up as positives. You have to put a trophy on the table.
Well, I tried to put a good spin on what could be a difficult season. You agree with Willard?
It's time these boys understand what is to play for these two teams. There's no other way. There you don't go and try or to develop. There you go and deliver, unfortunately. But if you're going to pamper them to try, then it's fine. Sundowns will take it again. I said it at the start of the season. We're still trying them for big teams. You cannot try a player in a big team. They must deliver. So when you sign someone that can deliver. Not that still going to try to bang in goals. No, you must find a striker that bangs in goals. case closed, like Rob, case closed. Not, you can't try that, sorry. Fortunately, these boys are still trying, some of them. They can talk as much as they want. We never tried, we did the job. If I kick, you don't go past. There's no funny day. Every game, you don't go past. That's the end of the line. So we've done it. So they must know, be consistent on what you can do.
This was a pure coincidence. The fact that we brought two of the hardest kickers in midfield today, it wasn't my choice. It just happened that we were with two guys that used to kick pieces off them.
No, but for sure, Benson is right. You need to deliver. Because at my first experience at Derby, I realized, you know what, I need to be a man here. Because it's like maybe the stadium management switch off the lights for me. And I'm playing at night. Serious, I was so confused. Then I had to sit back home and reflect like, you know what, here I'm in the lion's den. I have to swim.
Simple as that. There you go. Must thank you, gentlemen. Boss Yamboga, Salt and Vinegar, Willard, go to whatever you want. Willard Katsande, former Kaizer Chiefs captain, former Zimbabwe international, former Orlando Pirates captain, former Bafana international as well. Benson, Mhlongo, guys, it's been great having you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
That's great, and I hope that you enjoyed just hearing some insights from two players who know all about winning with these two great clubs. They played at a time when winning was just there was nothing else. As you heard, there's nowhere else to hide. At the end of the season, it's what's in the trophy cabinet. If there's nothing, that sums up the season. So, fortunately for Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs, there is still an opportunity at Glory. There's still another opportunity to lift, from a Pirates point of view, to lift the second trophy, and for Kaizer Chiefs to end this long drought. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Vodacom Sisonke Diski Chat. We'll see you soon. For myself, TT, it's goodbye.